In a city like Dubai, every single business decision you make really counts. And today, we're zeroing in on one that hits your team's efficiency and your company's bottom line: transportation. So, is it smarter to rent a fleet of cars or just rely on taxis? Let's figure it out.
So, picture this. Your team's got a jam-packed day. They have meetings stretching from downtown all the way to the marina. And you know the deal. Time is money. And first impressions, they're everything. So what's the absolute best way to get them around Dubai, reliably, affordably, and professionally? Let's break it down.
So here's how we're going to tackle this. First up, we'll follow the money and crunch the numbers. Then we're going to look at the other stuff. Time, control, and comfort. After that, we'll see how your choice actually affects your company's image. And to wrap it all up, we'll have a final showdown to see who really comes out on top.
All right, first things first, let's talk about the thing that's probably on everyone's mind: money. We are kicking this off with a head-to-head financial battle to see which option really gives you more bang for your buck when your team is constantly on the move.
Okay, so the biggest difference between these two really comes down to one simple word: predictability. With taxis, your costs are all over the place. They change with every single trip, every kilometer, even the time of day. But with a car rental, you get a nice, steady, fixed monthly rate. Your budget is locked in. No surprises.
So, you might be wondering, what does that actually look like in real numbers? Well, our source found that a typical business traveler making just 3 trips a day could easily rack up a bill of around 1,800 dirhams in a single month. And remember, that's before any surprise long-haul trips or those frustrating peak time surcharges.
Now let's flip the coin and look at the other side. You can get into a monthly rental for an economy car for as little as 1,650 dirhams. Just think about that for a second. For regular daily use, renting can actually be cheaper right from the start, and that's not even counting all the other perks.
And this table here, it lays it all out perfectly. Look at the taxi column. You're dealing with surge pricing, variable costs. It's a mess. But with a rental, all those worries just disappear. It makes budgeting for the month incredibly straightforward, whereas trying to guess your taxi expenses can be a total headache.
But hey, we all know it's not just about the dollars and cents, right? So now we're going to move on to things that are just as precious: time, control, and comfort. Let's just call this the efficiency equation.
In the business world, this is what's known as operational efficiency. It's basically the skill of cutting out all those little time wasters that add up and helping your team be as productive as possible, even when they're stuck in traffic. Every single minute you save is a minute you can put back into the business.
And a rental car gives that efficiency a huge boost. Think about it from your employee's point of view. There's no more staring at a ride-hailing app wondering where their driver is. They get total privacy for that confidential client call, which is impossible in the back of a taxi. Need to make a last-minute detour? No problem. That commute time suddenly becomes productive time, and it all leads to an employee who shows up on time, prepared, and ready to go.
All right, let's shift gears a bit and talk about something that's a little less tangible, but just as important: appearances. Because in business, how you arrive can sometimes say just as much as what you say when you get there. This is the corporate image factor. There's a quote from our source material that just hits the nail on the head. A dedicated rental car, especially a clean, modern one, just screams stability and professionalism. It shows you've planned ahead. Taxis, well, they're unpredictable by nature, and they definitely don't reflect your company's brand.
And this isn't just about what clients see on the outside. It's also about control on the inside. Imagine your accounting team getting one simple invoice each month instead of chasing down a mountain of taxi receipts. Your operations team knows the cars are maintained and insured. And as your company gets bigger, you can just add more cars to your fleet. It's simple, scalable, and a whole lot safer.
Okay, so we've covered the money, the efficiency, and the image. Now it's time to bring it all together for our final showdown and really see how these two options stack up side by side.
So let's really dig into this final comparison. For car rentals, the pros are huge. It saves you money on frequent trips, gives you total flexibility, makes the paperwork a breeze, and really boosts your professional image. The main downside is that initial setup and making sure you have the right permits. Now for taxis, sure, they're good for that one-off trip and they're easy to book. But for everyday business, the cons are a big deal. The waiting, the delays, and the costs just pile up.
So what's the final takeaway here? Well, our analysis makes it pretty clear. While a taxi might be fine every once in a while, for any company with people constantly moving around the UAE, a rental car is just the smarter choice. You get more control, better efficiency, and at the end of the day, you save money. For day-to-day operations, it's a clear win.
So at the end of the day, the ball is in your court. You've got to think about how often your team is on the road, what your budget looks like, and the kind of image you want to project in Dubai. And then you have to ask yourself, which one of these isn't just a ride, but a strategic tool that's actually going to drive your business forward?